Hi, I'm Sonia from mydulcehogar.com, which translated from Spanish means my sweet home. Today I'm going to share with you the progress that we've made in the project of redoing our backyard. I already have this same video up on the channel but in Spanish, so I will link that up in the cards if you want to check it out in Spanish. Now, when we first moved into the house, I knew that the backyard and patio was going to be one of the biggest projects that we would have to do. It was in such a bad state. But I didn't think far enough ahead of time, so I didn't take pictures and videos of when we first moved in. So the pictures that I do have that I'm going to share are a few weeks after, when we had already done a lot of the cleanup. Okay, so just keep that in mind. I got these first photos from the evaluation or inspection report that was completed for the purchase sale transaction, but they do not capture 100% the bad condition in which it was. Believe me when I tell you, it looked like a jungle. The plants and fruit trees could not be appreciated because there were way too many of them and they were not well arranged. They were just all on top of each other. And there were these guide plants that connected one tree to the other and blocked out the sun, kind of like mini tunnels everywhere. There wasn't much room to walk, much less for the dogs to run around. There was also no lawn or grass. It was just dirt that turned into mud when it rained. And since we got here in December, it was still the rainy season, and it was making a mess of mud, which the dogs got into, of course, and then they tracked all the mud into the house. Apart from the large amount of nature items, there was also a heap of stuff. I don't know how to describe these things. Maybe the right word for it is junk. Things that have no real purpose and just look bad. I don't mean to offend the previous owner of the house, especially since he's family, but I simply do not like having a lot of junk in plain sight, especially if I'm not using it. One thing I did like about this backyard is that the patio has a concrete floor and a roof. Well, not a roof, but like a covering. But what I didn't like about it is that it was closed off because they had added two semi-walls. And I say semi because it was just a few pieces of boards and like metal sheets that were used to cover up the walls and close it in. So we knocked those two walls down and now it's open and there's a lot more natural light that comes in. And you can see the entire backyard from inside the house, which is beautiful. We also removed all the decorations. There were things like paintings, dolls, figurines, things like that. There were several like homemade rustic wooden structures like tables, chairs. There was a ladder, there was some random fences. We demolished them all. We also removed all of the pieces of brick, cement squares and tile squares that were installed on the floor, like over the dirt. I imagine like to have a flat surface to walk on. We also removed 6 trees and a countless number of plants. Each week we topped off our trash bins, and on top of that we rented 2 large dumpsters that were filled up as well. Well, after 4 months of cleaning, it was time to install the grass. We hadn't finished removing all the junk yet, but I felt we needed to install the grass as soon as possible for the dogs to enjoy. But looking back on it now, I wish and we should have installed the sprinklers first because we just got done doing that and it tore up the grass. So live and learn, I guess. Install your sprinklers first before you install the sod. But anyway, these are the steps that we followed to install it. First, 3 days before the installation, we started flooding the soil to make it softer and easier to till. Then, one day before the installation, we rented a tilling machine or a tiller to loosen the soil. We added fertilizer and then used a rake and a piece of wood to even out the soil. We didn't level it off perfectly, but we did our best. Next, on the day of the installation, we started laying the sod pieces in a staggered pattern from one edge until we finished with all 1,000 square feet. In areas where we needed to trim the roll, we found it easier to use a drywall knife.
It took us almost 4 hours to finish, just Carlos and I. It's not too complicated to install your own lawn, but it is physically exhausting. These rolls of sod are heavy, and we had to carry them from the front yard to the back. Looking back now, we could have asked for help from family and friends. But oh well, in the end, the effort was well worth it because we saved a lot of money. The cost of the fertilizer, the Reno machine, and the sod was only $800. I didn't get any quotes from a professional landscaper, but if I were to guess, I'd say the cost would have been at least double that, maybe even $2,000. In my opinion, this little bit of money and hard work paid off because the yard looks so much better. We installed the sod in April, and this is how it looked in early June. We still had it fenced off because we added more fertilizer and I didn't want the dogs to get into it. This is the first update that I will share on this project because we have not finished it yet. We have so many plans. We want to put up a new cement block fence to replace the wooden fence that is broken in several spots. We also want new cement planters on the edges of the lawn where I want to plant rose bushes and different nice flowers and plants. We are also going to knock down the 2 storage rooms or those sheds. But first we need to clear them out because they are full of junk that the previous owner left behind. And in its place, when those are gone, we want to put a fire pit with a seating area and even a vegetable garden. Anyway, there is still a lot to do. In fact, 9 months have passed since we first moved in, and we still continue to clear out debris every weekend. So I think it's going to take several more months to complete this project.
So stay tuned for future updates that I'm going to share on the progress of this project because like I said, we're not finished with it yet. And check out the description box. I'm going to leave links to items that I use during this process and the project. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe the video. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye.